All right, guys, welcome into Will and Nick Save the World. Nick is like jerking on my screen. I'm not sure what's going on.
Excuse me? Pause.
I said jerking on my screen. That's what it is.
Still a little sus, bro.
What an intro. That could be the best intro I've ever done. Dude,
that's going to be the one that gets people to come to the YouTube. It does sound
a little bit sus now that you say it. He's not that kind of jerking. Let's say that. He's just more so, if you're watching on YouTube, it's more so kind of like this, you know, but
audio listeners still extremely confused.
Yeah, exactly. It's like star visible confusion.
Yeah.
It's like an anime almost. But yeah, guys, this is going to be the episode that we're going to talk about some really cool stuff and some updates, and then also just some things about, you know, how we deal with compromise and some other topics that we're going to get into that are going to be, I think, pretty valuable. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yep. No jerking on this podcast. Let's say that.
At least not past the intro.
Exactly. So Nick, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Everything's smooth. I have no complaints. You know, still living in the sunshine. But what about you, man?
Bro, living in the sunshine, but also living in the real world, because I feel like it's one of those situations, and I'm just going to dive right into this, guys. PS5. Yes. It is the ultimate gem that no one can obtain except for the scalpers and the people who are just really good at the internet. So, because Nick, here's what I did. I'm just gonna throw this out there for the viewers here. I bought a $825 PS5. So it was $800 plus $25 shipping on eBay, right? This thing retails for $499, so $500. It retails for $500 on the websites, right? But you know, this thing's been out since like September of last year, right?
Yes.
And it's still so difficult to come by. So it is one of those things that is just challenging. Every time there's a drop, I followed all the Twitter accounts. I got notifications on my phone. Every time they tweet, there's updates about it. Dude, I woke up an hour early this morning to get ready for the Target drop, right? I was ready. I was on super early. I had everything ready. I watched all the videos, how to do it and everything. Still could not get one. Like, I tried, man. I was on the checkout. I tried the mobile app. I tried paying with PayPal. I tried paying with credit card. I tried paying with Apple Pay. I tried the desktop. I tried paying with everything possible. And I tried going incognito on my Google Chrome. That didn't work. I tried like every method you could think of, right? I tried switching the store that I would pick it up in. Nothing worked. And guess what? They sold out. So it wouldn't let me check out. So then they did a GameStop drop today, right? GameStop drop with some bundles. And these bundles were actually stuff I'd be interested in. So extra games, controllers, things like that. Dude, the website was a disaster. It kept not working. Like the links didn't work. Then eventually it wouldn't let you check out. It let some people check out, obviously, but not me, of course, because it never lets me check out. So I said, you know what? I've been doing this dance for several months now. Like I still have no PS5. I've tried every day. I've bought all the Twitter accounts, watched all the videos. I just don't think it's not in the cards for me to get one at retail right now. So I said, you know what? I want a PS5. So I'm going to pay like roughly $250 over, a little bit more over retail. So, and dude, I looked on eBay, they're going for that easy. Like I was looking at several of them in that price range, like the 800 to 825. And like half of them, I'd put it in my cart and it'd be like, this item's out of stock. Somebody else would buy it. So
damn,
like that's what's happening. So eventually I found one that was 800 and this dude had good feedback with 25 shipping. And I was like, I'm just going to buy it because like other people are buying it. And like, I can't get one if I want to play. If I don't want to wait another year, like then I got to just pay basically. So that's what I did. And I paid a scalper and I said I would never do that. But topic of the evening, I compromised. So
you did.
And I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not thrilled about it because I had to pay a little bit more than I obviously wanted to or should have. But it's just the situation that we're in right now, honestly. Like, unless you're just really good at the internet and getting lucky with these drops, like, I've never been able to grab one. I've been doing everything right, I feel like.
Dude, I don't even know how much of it is being good at the internet and getting lucky as much as it sounds like people are just using bots to me. Right. Because, I mean, you know a little bit about resale culture from having like the figures, and you said that you've bought some, they've later gone up in price. To me, this sounds a whole lot like every Thursday at 11 when Supreme drops. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it seems, you know, they'll let you get it in your cart, but if you don't check out with it immediately, and even if you do, there's still a good chance that you won't get it. that, some people it's going to say, okay, transaction process. Other people is going to say, so sorry, didn't work out for you. So it sounds like that's what's happening with the PlayStations. Like, even though you're prepared for the drops, you've done everything to get right. And you're there, you've got your information laid out, you've got your address, you've got your credit card info, you've got your finger ready to click on all the CAPTCHA, correct squares. But sometimes even being super fast isn't good enough because there's a bunch of other people. And because there's so many bots that will literally auto check out for you, if the sites aren't set up to like prevent those bots, then they're always going to get through faster.
Right.
So it sounds like that's the world that you were living in. And yeah, you had to make a compromise. And if you really want something and you can't get it for retail, sometimes you got to bite the bullet and spend a little extra.
Dude, because it's one of those things. I don't know if you've heard of the guy, but the guy's name is Jake Randall. So he was the guy I've primarily been following, right? And he does all these PS5 drops. Dude, this goes to show you like how in demand this thing is. Not this dude. This dude has like 120K subs, right? So he's pretty popular as is. But people, he has a live stream when drops happen, right? He had one this morning. He was doing Target drop because we knew it was coming. He reported on it. And like, dude, during that live stream, there were 10,000 people watching. That's what I'm saying. Like for these PS5s, they're local to your area for Target. So like if you buy one, you pick it up at a store in your area. So mostly you're competing with people in your area, right? Okay. But like even then, if there's 10,000 people just watching that stream, like, and how many PS5s do you think are coming in stock at a time? Not that many. Handful. And if all those people plus everyone else, who is trying to get a PS5 who's not watching that stream, plus the bots, like it's just like it's just really hard to get one. I mean, like it's like there's just not enough of them. So there's a conductor shortage supposedly, so they haven't been able to manufacture as many as they would like, and that's been the problem, I think. And also they're not in stores. You can't like go walk into a GameStop and find them. You know what I mean? Like they're just not. No one's selling them in stores, so that's a big part of the problem. Like it's just, that's how it is. And, like I said, I had to pay a little bit extra just because I had no other choice. I mean, like, if I want one, I guess I could be patient, but I feel like I've already been pretty patient. I mean, I've been waiting since September trying to get one. So, I mean, and I could have done this
amount of time.
Right. Exactly. And I could have just done it anytime, really. I could have just bought one off eBay at any time. So, I mean, that's what I want to bring up with compromise. So how do you feel about this situation? Have you ever done anything like this?
Yeah, with shoes, I've done similar things where if I really wanted a pair of shoes and I couldn't get it for retail, then I might pay a little bit extra to get my hands on those shoes. And I think this is an interesting spin on compromise, because it's really just making compromise with yourself and your bank account, where you're like, well, I was prepared to spend retail, but now that that's no longer an option, how high am I willing to go? But as long as you get that amount of enjoyment out of it, like something that people in like the streetwear and sneaker community have always said is like, if it's worth that price to you, then you shouldn't be worried about like what you paid for it. Specifically talking about, and I have a question that I want to ask you about, kind of following up on this. If say there's a pair of shoes that retailed for $200 and you spent $400 to get them, and then a couple of weeks later they drop down to $300. Half the people that bought them for $400 are going to feel disappointed, like, oh, I could have saved $300. But the other half, it's like, well, that's what it was worth it to me. It was worth it to pay $400 to know that I could get the shoes. So I'm not going to, trip over that extra $100. So it's kind of like two different trains of thought. So that being said, if a month from now, let's just say 30 days from now, PS5s are regularly available, you could walk into a store and get them, would you have buyer's remorse? Like, what is the length of time between you making that purchase and spending X amount of extra dollars to them becoming readily available that you feel like your purchase is justified? Because I know if one dropped in a store tomorrow, you'd probably be upset.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I'd be upset for sure. Like, but honestly, like, it's probably going to be in the rearview mirror in the next week or two. You know what I mean? Like, of course, it puts a hurt on my bank account, and that sucks, but it would put a hurt on my bank account either way. So, I mean, like, even if I got it for retail. So, I mean, but yeah, that's a really good question. Probably, like, I don't think I would have buyer's remorse necessarily, like, because if it were like tomorrow, like you said, if I just walked into my Target tomorrow and I saw a PS5 there, I'd be like, God damn it. The universe is trying to tell me something. You know what I mean? But like, for example, otherwise, I don't think that I would necessarily have it, because I've been trying to get this thing for a while and I've heard it's really great. And there's some games that are going to be coming out that are going to want to play on it. And right now, and the one thing too, not to dodge the question at all, but like I have a PS4 and I sold those. My brother sold his with like no controller even for $275 easy. So I mean,
really?
Yeah. PS4s are still popular. Like a week or two ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So like, and mine I think might be even better because I have like a controller. I have a bunch of games I could sell if I wanted. Like, so,
Sure.
But I'm going to sell mine. I'm probably going to list it tonight actually. So I can at least recoup maybe 250 to 300 out of that, and then recoup that money. You know, so
yeah,
because I'm not going to need it. You know what I mean? Like if I have the only thing I would want to keep it for is it has a Blu-ray player in it, but like I could get one of those and totally be fine. So I'm not going to keep it for that. But yeah, like honestly, would I have buyer's remorse? I don't think so. Like it's funny. I have another group of friends who are pretty in tune with this, and they all have them, right? And they've been able to get them just off drops and things like that. And like I'm like, guys, look, like I respect the fact that y'all have been able to grab one, but I have not. So, I mean, like, I've tried everything, and they were like, Will, you should have just waited. I'm like, I've been waiting. I've waited
Since
like
September?
6 months. Right. It's something
dude,
like that. Like
so
September.
long.
Right.
Like you said in the rearview mirror, if you would have just paid the extra money back in September, which honestly might not have been that much, shout out to Brinkley, our creative assistant, or whatever his title may be. Like he let Will know one time that they were going for like $650. So I think earlier on, it could have been, still around that. And if you'd have paid that 6 months ago, you definitely would not be thinking about that money now. Like if you just
exactly.
off rip, you know what I mean? That money is like well worth having spent it, knowing that you've gotten 6 months of use out of it, as opposed to sitting around without one. So I hope for that reason that they continue to be short stocked for another 6 months, that you can feel really good about your purchase. But as long as that's what the purchase was worth to you, that $825, then have fun gaming, bro.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the end of the world, just because, I mean, PS4 Pros they're still like $400. I mean, like PS4 Pros. I mean, they're still like at least 300, but I'm pretty sure they're 400 still. So, I mean, and like a PS5 is what I paid like double that. I mean, that's not the end of the world. I mean, like I said, it's just, and I mean, I remember when I originally got my PS3, I believe that was $600. And that was like way long ago.
A PlayStation 3?
It was like honestly, 500 or 600.
It really could have been, but man, that seems like such a long time.
And that was in Walmart. I remember walking into Walmart and getting it. So yeah, I mean, things were different then, man. Like the internet was around, but it was obviously not as big as it is now. And like it just with COVID has destroyed everything. Like this might have been a totally different story if we didn't have COVID going on, because you could maybe walk into a store and be happy to find one, like true. You might just walk in and be like, oh shit, Target has 3 of them. You know what I mean? And yeah, you can grab one. Like, but now it's just not the case. So it's the bots are grabbing everything. So I think buyer's remorse, I wouldn't have that unless it were like a week or two from now and they were just on Amazon like all day. You know what I mean? Like I would be like, that kind of sucks. But like, I honestly don't think, they said they're expecting, here's the one thing that helped me my decision. Sony's supposedly not expecting stock to be like normal until mid 2022. So like, yeah. So I was like, forget it.
I feel like by then they should be
it.
developing the PS6.
Right. So I was like, you know what? Dude. Forget it, man. Forget it. So I was like, I'll just pay the extra 250 or 300, whatever, and just get it. So I mean, and just be done with it. So.
Well, hey, I'm glad you've been able to secure one finally, and you'll be able to play all of the neat games on PlayStation 5. What's the game that you're looking most forward to playing?
So there's one game that's coming out actually Friday. So it's called Returnal, and I've heard it's got good reviews, and I kind of want to try it. So, it was really frustrating? Those bundles, the GameStop bundles today, that came with it in the bundle. And like, I wanted that game anyway, but I couldn't buy them. They were $750, and you got the PS5, MLB The Show, Returnal, and a controller, and then like a $25 GameStop gift card. So that would have been obviously a much better value. But like, definitely, it's just, I tried, man. I tried to work. I was like, guys, I need to like not do anything for like 30 minutes because I'm trying to click this and check it out, and I still didn't get it. They were like, okay, well, do your best, and I still didn't get it. So, dude,
that was your first issue, thinking that you were gonna have 30 minutes to check out. You should have been like, guys, I'm gonna need 30 seconds, and if I haven't copped in 30 seconds,
the GameStop site was down, so that's the problem. No one was really able to check out, so it just took a while. So, like, because the links weren't working. So, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. So. With shoes, you said you've done something like that before. I did it with a figure somewhat recently, but it was because I wasn't collecting when this figure was released, so I didn't ever had an opportunity to get it. It was a Terminator figure. So, and I think I paid like $550, which is like pretty much the going rate. It was originally a $350 retail, but like it's just it goes for $550 now because it's sold out for a while and it's a grail to a lot of people. But I love that figure. It's honestly one of my favorites that I have.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, similarly, any type of product I think that is that sought after it's going to go up in price. It's just supply and demand. So if there's less supply than demand, then the amount that you're going to have to pay is going to go up. And yeah, there's been shoes that typically it's similarly, I'll like retroactively want a pair of shoes that maybe I wasn't like hip to at the time, but as I learn more about it, I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that. And the shoe might have originally released it. Something that I've done frequently is the original LeBron, the Air Zoom Generation 1s. When they released, they were something dumb low, like $90 or something like that. And I have 4 out of the 5 pairs, like the original pairs, and I paid at least $400 for every single one of them. Some of them like $500. So you know what I mean? That's a 500% increase. Is that how that works? 100 to 500? Is that 500%?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a pretty substantial increase, but that was like the best price that I could get them for. And I figured if I waited any longer, the price was only going to go up. So you try to rationalize things like that. And I mean, I'm happy I have them. It's not shoes that I want to wear. It's literally shoes that I have just to have and like
collection.
Admire. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as a collector that some things you just like to have. You're not necessarily going to play with them or wear them, but just to have them as a collector, it's nice to have and to be like, wow, I own that. That's neat. So
yeah, exactly. That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So Nick, we have a comment, but it doesn't have a transcription. So
dude, just try it. We're living life on the edge, baby. Let's hear it.
Let's roll the dice.
Yeah.
Well,
that was very kind.
I appreciate the thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's all perspective.
Yeah.
Well, this is on eBay. So like the reason I bought from eBay is because eBay like really has buyer protection because they have, they have buyer protection. Like I said, they have other dudes who bought from him and were like, hey, I got my PS5, everything. They bought the new Xboxes from PS5s. So like, it wasn't, that's what instead of just buying from someone who has like very little feedback and someone who's never sold one of these, I went through his feedback and checked. So, and he had pictures and everything, and we'll see. I mean, like I said, and eBay like pretty much always sides with the buyer. Like even if the buyer did something wrong and is lying, they'll be like, "No, we're gonna take the buyer's side on this one." Like that's pretty much what they always. So selling on eBay is a little bit tricky. So honestly, there's so much eBay protection. And I paid with PayPal too, so I mean, it's like,
true.
It'll be here Thursday. I'm sure it's probably fine. It's brand new, so.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for you. And you got to think that extra money is just like an investment towards your streaming career. Because now that you have it, you'll be able to do streaming on the top of the line console with one exception. And I have a question, like, why? I know you're just a loyal Sony guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, are Xboxes more available or they're still like selling out at the same rate? Like, did you ever think, did it cross your mind? Maybe, hey, it's time to leave the PlayStation in the past and go over to the good side and get myself an Xbox. Did that ever cross your mind?
No, actually, and I've had Xbox. I had the 360 and I really liked it. But so here's the thing mostly, like I'm not necessarily like a company man in terms of Sony. Like I have Sony TVs just because I've gotten one and I really liked it. And I was like, I'm just going to get a few more of that. And it works really well. But what I'd say is overall, like I do feel like PlayStation is the best gaming experience I've had personally, just because. So here's the thing. You know why that is? Because they have so many exclusive games. Like that I want to play. Like, well, I guess Last of Us franchise, I'm not so much interested in anymore, which is crazy. But they have Last of Us, they have God of War, they have Ghost of Tsushima, they have the Infamous series, they have like Sony gets all the exclusive games. Xbox really doesn't have that much besides Halo. Like they get games that both consoles get, but Sony has a lot of like exclusive titles with studios that are really popular and they really create these like cinematic games that I really buy into. So like Final Fantasy VII, I'm pretty sure that's only on PlayStation. So I'm pretty positive. So like that's one, for example, where, like I have to have a PlayStation to play it and I wouldn't want to miss out on games like that. So that's mostly why I get it.
Dude, I think that may be the biggest like difference between PlayStation and Xbox. You're talking about the exclusive games. So I'm not entirely informed on this, but just from hearing you talk about that, it sounds like Sony and PlayStation have more of like the storyline driven games, whereas the exclusive Xbox titles, like you mentioned, Halo, Gears of War was another one. And early on in competitive gaming, like those two were like really leading the charge. And there was a time like when I was taking gaming and Call of Duty like super seriously, the like national championships of that were held on Xbox. And when I stopped playing, it's because there was like, as the internet continues to develop and there's more people that can exploit things on the internet and games and everything like that, there was a lot of hacks being done on Xbox. So MLG literally took Call of Duty off of Xbox and they moved it to PlayStation. They're like, screw it. Screw you guys. Like, bad community. Okay. Like, we're going to move this over to PlayStation. And at the time I was like, I don't have money. We were in college. It's, I'm sure we were both at SU at the time. I was like, I don't have money to just go buy another console. I guess I don't play anymore. So I just stopped playing. And then eventually they moved it back to Xbox. But that was like, to me, and, being somebody that I've always been like super competitive, and that's part of the reason I like playing games. I literally would buy Call of Duties and games like that and never touch the campaign. Like, I've probably owned so many Call of Duties and played the campaign on literally 0 of them. Because I would just hop on and immediately I wanted to play online. So maybe that's why like Xbox has always been a little bit more exciting to me from that perspective. I don't know. You think that holds any weight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's definitely gamers who definitely feel the same way with Call of Duty, especially where like I've played the Call of Duty campaigns and I really enjoyed them. So like, I mean, they're not like as rich narratively as like Final Fantasy or, Last of Us or something, but they're still really good. But I would say, to answer your other question, like with Xbox, they're like a little less hard to get, but they're still pretty much just as hard to get right now. I mean, like it's like they do the drops for those two and they still sell out in seconds and people can't get them. It's like same difficulty as getting a PS5. I mean, like it's really challenging. Like it's PS5, so I think PS5 is more in demand for sure. Like PS5 is just more popular because people Sony has built that. Like PS4, it was an Xbox killer, basically. Like people just wanted a PS4 because all those games, and PS5 is going to be the same thing. Basically, I think like Xbox is still around and still good, but I think PlayStation has definitely taken over the mantle. So I mean, PlayStation is the fastest selling. PlayStation 5 is the fastest selling console of all time. So I mean, it's and not surprisingly, I mean, like the scalpers are buying most of them, but people are still buying them on eBay. So I mean, but it's just it just. No one can get them. Like I've honestly never seen anything like this. Remember that Kylo Ren lightsaber I had a hard time getting before? This is like that times 10. I mean, it's on like
steroids.
Yeah, trying to get a PS5, but yeah, like Xbox is still hard to get. But yeah, it's just I really like those story-driven games, man, and I can't give those up. And I just don't want to miss out. This game coming out Friday, supposedly it's good, and I want to try it. So,
well, kudos to PlayStation for still having so many like single console like exclusive games. Because, I mean, I know it was innocent of you, but you said PlayStation's really taking over the mantle. PC is taking over all of gaming. And dude, that you talked about it earlier. You spent $800 on this PlayStation. You feel like you can maybe sell your PlayStation 4 for a couple $100. You could have taken that money combined and you could be a PC gamer right now, bro. That being said, it is still tough to get. Yeah. It's hard to get the CPUs and the GPUs right now. So I guess it's even similar in like the PC world, but I don't know, man. I think you should, it's too late. You already got that. And I know you've mentioned before that you might still be interested in a PC. Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like that should have been priority number 1 because there's so many things. There's a lot of exclusive titles for PlayStation, but there's a lot of exclusive stuff for PC as well.
True, but there's no way I'm going to be able to play, at least at release, no way I'm going to be able to play God of War and Ghost of Tsushima 2 and like Final Fantasy 7 Part 2. Like there's just going to be so much stuff that I really want to play on PS5. And supposedly this Returnal is the game that I want to play on Friday. And it comes out Friday. And like supposedly one review said it's going to be a Game of the Year contender. So it's like really, really good. So
okay.
I don't know. We'll see. It's like an alien game. You're like on some planet or something, and like it's you get stranded and you have to. It's like a shooter basically, but it's supposedly really, really fun. I want to try. And supposedly, dude, I got the new Sony TV behind me. I'm ready for gaming. I'm ready for PS5 gaming. Yeah. But it's just, that's what I got it for. Dude, I've bought everything else but the PlayStation until now. Like I have the charging dock for the controllers. I bought a spare PlayStation. I bought a PlayStation 5 controller. I told you, a spare one. So like I have like a headset, a wireless headset. So I literally bought everything but the PlayStation because I think I just got overconfident. I thought like today was going to be the day, and it was, just not in the way I thought. Like I thought today, I thought I was going to get the Target drop today. Like I was like, look, I'm experienced. I'm a pro. I'm gonna beat out these other chumps. And then I was like, Target was like, nah, we got a different plan for you.
Sorry, fam. Yeah, dude. Well, yeah. Now you all have it, and on Thursday you'll be gaming your heart away, or gaming to your heart's content, and you won't even be thinking about it. But so along similar lines, it seems like you're into the games that have good, fulfilling campaigns, good graphics, good art, and I think that's kind of in line with the things that you like because you're also the movie guy of this podcast. Have you heard about, and this is what I wanted to ask you about earlier, Have you heard about the Demon Slayer movie? So Demon Slayer is an anime. It's one of my favorites. Right. Like, have you heard about that movie?
I have, apparently, but I don't know much about it. The only reason I knew much about it is because I know it was competing with Mortal Kombat at the box office. And supposedly it was holding its own. Mortal Kombat won, but it did better than people thought it would. And supposedly it's pretty good from what I heard, but I honestly don't know too much about it.
Okay, well, my question for you, because I'm not a huge movie guy. I don't really be watching movies, but that's a movie that I am very interested in watching.
Okay.
Are movie theaters open? How would one go about watching this?
So where we live, they open up, I think it's May 3rd or May 4th.
Really?
So they're back up because I plan to definitely go see Mortal Kombat again in the theaters when it comes out because our local theater near us, about, is opening up soon. They have opened up in other areas, like I think the Rockville one opened up recently, but this one's opening up in May. So let's like early May, the 3rd or the 4th or something like that. So it should open up. You should be able to go see it then. Dude, I'll go. I don't know anything about it, but if you want to go, I'll go. Yeah, because I got Regal Unlimited, so I can just go for free. So
true. Hey,
I'll get you 5% off. 5% off
nice.
Concessions.
Hell yeah, dude! Exactly what I need.
Said that was nothing, but it's something. But
yeah, I mean, it's very close to nothing. It's something that's very close to nothing.
It's 5% above nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you go often enough, like if you have an unlimited pass and you were to buy concessions every time, then certainly over a stretch of movies, that'll add up to $1 or $2. But for a one-time visit, I don't know, man. Yeah, dude, I would definitely like to go see that. How long do you think? Well, like how long is Mortal Kombat going to be in theaters? How long do movies usually stay in theaters?
It depends if they're doing well. Like they'll do as many showings, I think, as people are going to see. So like basically like for example, like you remember Titanic. Titanic was in the theaters for like 3 or 4 months. I mean, like, and like same with Avengers Endgame. It was in the theater for a while, like a couple months. Like Mortal Kombat it's a pretty solid performer. It's not like an Avengers by any stretch. So it's like it'll probably be in theaters like maybe a month or a month and a half, something like that. So like
it'll that's be still pretty long.
Yeah, and like I think I'll definitely have plenty of time to see it. But it's on HBO Max. I've already watched it like once or twice anyway. But like I'm still on my second watch now. But I did really enjoy it, by the way. A lot of people didn't, but it's pretty split. But I really liked it, and I liked it, and I definitely want to see it on the big screen. So I'm definitely going to go to that. But yeah, dude, if I'm gonna look up Demon Slayer because I would definitely be down.
Dude, just crank out. It's only one season for like the actual like show, like the anime. I think it's like 26 episodes or something like that. Dude, just bang that out over the next like week and a half. Because like I mentioned, I'm going to be on vacation next week, so I wouldn't be able to do it next week. But then the following week, if it's still in theaters, dude, you'll be all caught up and we can go and we can watch it. And that'll be probably the first movie that I've gone to see in like 2 years minimum, maybe longer.
Really? Okay.
A milestone event.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look it up now, and like it's coming out with the 2021. I think it might be the show.
No, it might be 2020 because I heard it released in Japan a while ago, and it's just now coming stateside.
Dude, that thing has a 95% and an audience score of 99. That's like,
I heard people were going crazy for it in Japan. I mean, it's a great show. It's like a fan favorite anime that people like to watch. And I mean, having watched it myself, I do really enjoy it. I think the art style is really cool and the storyline is pretty nice. So I'm sure the movie is great. The only thing that I'm concerned about now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of thinking through it a little bit more, is in the theaters, will it be in English or will it be in Japanese? Have you ever seen a movie like that? That's like, because I know there's been like, I mean, we used to watch Pokemon when we were kids, and then they had Pokemon movies, but that shit was on like Cartoon Network or something like that. So that was always in English. Like I didn't even know Pokemon started in Japan. I just thought it was
well, you were like 10 at the time. You would know.
Yeah. So, but now that I know that's something that's been transcripted. What's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of?
It's been like subtitled.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they're taking like originally it's written in Japanese and then they have to transcribe it in English and then they do the voice lines in English.
Translate.
Yeah. Oh, translate. Holy shit. What an easy word.
Close.
I was like,
you're pretty close.
Yeah. But yeah, when they have to do stuff like that, and oh man, I just feel like maybe because I don't know, it's like my ignorance, but like I like watching the shit in Japanese way better. I feel like it's more exciting. Like if I hear somebody say something in English, I'm like, that didn't sound as cool as hearing like a battle cry in another language.
I bet it'll be in Japanese, would be my guess, just based on what you're telling me. So. I bet it would be in Japanese, and I think they probably would just, subtitle it instead of dubbing it.
I don't know if they would give like multiple options. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Within like people that watch anime, there's like a group of people that only watch subtitles, and there's a group of people that only watch dubbed. And I am in
the weebs,
the subtitle group. Yeah, dude. If you want to be a true weeb, you gotta watch subbed.
I remember you told me that. You were like, you can't watch dubbed, you gotta watch subtitled.
Yeah.
If you want to be a true weeb. Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. The biggest difference to me is when I'm watching a show that's in English, a cartoon or just a regular show, whatever it may be, I can put my head down and I can still hear what they're saying. So I still have a general idea of what's going on, but it might not have my full attention. If it's in another language and I don't understand it fully and I have to read, my eyes are always on the screen. So I'm paying attention to everything. So I kind of like being more immersed into the show like that I have to, kind of forces my attention on the show. If I look away for a second, I literally have no idea what just happened. Not only can I not see it, but I don't understand what's going on either.
Gotcha. Yeah, dude. And I don't think I've watched a lot of like animated movies. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of animated movies, but not a lot of anime movies rather. So I've seen a lot of like Pixar movies and Disney and stuff, but not anime. So dude, here's a side question to that. Have you ever seen the music video by Porter Robinson and Madeon called Shelter?
Nope. Oh, actually, yeah, I think it might have been Ryan had me watch it. Yes, it's super old. It's from like 2006. Ryan, literally shout out Ryan, our producer, creative director, whatever you are, Ryan, shout out you, because he sent it to me like a week ago and I watched. It's like 6 minutes long, right?
Yep, exactly, dude. His Porter Robinson's music. Only reason I asked, I'm like a huge fan of his music now. I knew about him before, but I've just gotten really into him recently, and I watched that video again. That's a sick anime video. So,
dude, yeah. Okay, let's break that down real quick. What do you think was the purpose of that? Like, so you've watched the 6 minutes, whatever it is. Right. Like, what meaning do you derive from that?
Yeah, it seemed like to me, from what I remember about it, the plot was the world is ending, and like the dad builds like a rocket ship for her, or a ship to like go out to Earth to save her, basically. But from what I gather from it, he builds the ship, and it's only built to contain her. Like he can't go with him, so he stays behind basically, and she's kind of like remembering everything. And then at the end, you see her in the ship, kind of remembering fondly about what her father gave her and her experience, things like that. But from what it sounds like, from what I've read too, is that she's the only one on Earth that survives. So so she's kind of like the only one. So I'm not sure where exactly she's going. The meaning I don't know. The meaning I derived from it, it's kind of like, I feel like it's sort of a thing where we're like reflecting on our past and being grateful for what we had. And even though we don't always recognize it at the time, like I feel like it's always one of those things, like Counting Crows said, you don't recognize what you got. You don't know what you got until it's gone.
Facts.
That's what they said. They paid paradise, and they put up a parking lot. That's what they said.
Dude, what a quote, man. I feel like that's what they said. Great,
Counting Crows, man.
Quote to pull right there. Yeah. Dude, I had very similar feelings to what you're expressing about the video. I thought same thing. It was like a father and a daughter thing, and the world's coming to an end. So he's trying to do whatever he can to, ensure that she can continue on. Right. But Ryan had a different perspective, and I can't remember exactly what it is. So Ryan, great time to utilize stereo if you want to go ahead and drop your thoughts on it, so we can maybe talk about it. But yeah, dude, a very interesting video. And it's like, you got to get like 3/4 of the way through it to really find out like what's going on, because it's just like, like nice art style and like fun and pretty shit. And then all of a sudden it like takes a turn and you're like, wait, what's happening? But dude, great video. And yeah, dude, if you like that, then I'm sure there's some animes that you may enjoy as well. At least like art style wise. Dude, maybe. You go from being a movie review guy to being an anime review guy. And then I can hop on board with it.
There you go. Then we could do the reviews together.
Oh no, I'll just be more in tuned. I wouldn't want to steal your, you know what I mean? Like that's still your thing. I'm not trying to steal your thunder or anything like that. But if you watch a movie, chances are I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. But if you watch an anime and review it, then we can chop it up.
Then you know what's going on. Right.
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, I've definitely been more interested in anime recently, probably because of you, to be honest. Just kind of like getting an idea of what's out there and just everything that people enjoy. Anime is like super hot right now. Like everyone's talking about, I see all these videos about anime, like comedy stuff, like when dudes watch anime versus this and anime. So like people are really into it. So it's like, it's a really big thing. And I'm wondering, we have a comment now. It's not from Ryan, but
okay,
should we try it?
Let's finish the thought real quick though. Like, okay. I feel like when we were in school, tell me if you felt this way, like anime seemed like very like taboo, like only like nerds watched anime type shit. But now it seems to be like very openly like accepted. And I like it, man. I wish I would have been turned on to it sooner, because the biggest difference for me, like I feel like American cartoons or, you know, animated series they just appeal to like dumb humor. Whereas like animes usually have like pretty nice like ideals behind them, and like they push kind of like good characteristics in people. Whereas like one that I'll just reference, like that was really popular that I used to like, was like Ed, Edd n Eddy. And all they do is dumb shit all day long. Like I'm learning nothing from watching that show. But if I watch anime, it's like, wow, this is how you be a good friend. And it warms my heart. And that's why I like it. But yeah.
Dude, it's funny though. I've actually watched, you know, I wouldn't call it an anime, it's animated, but I've watched a lot of South Park over my days. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I feel like I've learned a lot from that show. Like, I feel like
that's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like my mom asked me, she'll ask me every now and then, like, where'd you learn this and that? I'm like, South Park. I was like, I learned all this stuff. She was like, I feel like half of your knowledge base from South Park. I was like, that's about right. Like 50%. I was like 40, 50%.
That's about right.
That. Yeah.
As somebody that is about to be, hold on. You are, sorry for not remembering this, but you are, or you were about to be a doctor, like having your doctorate, and you think 50% of your knowledge has come from South Park.
I should have wrote my dissertation on it, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, because I'd have been like the excellence of South Park, or the lessons that one can derive from South Park. I should have done that.
True.
So it would have been really creative, but I don't know how I would have collected all the data. Dude, I'm hoping to have the doctor by the end of the summer. So
okay. Still
I finally got my results, I think. So yeah, but overall, once it's done, I'm gonna be watching a lot of anime because I'm gonna have more free time.
There you go. So, yep, it'd be time well spent.
Yep, exactly.
Do you want to hop into our comment now?
Did you see the transcribe? But I'll check. I did. Does that? I think it looks okay.
All right, dude. Let's go for it.
Hello. I'm sorry I'm quiet. I hope you understand my super bad English. But I need to be quiet because I am in this room and my parents are sleeping like next, and I don't want to wake them up. I just wanted to ask you, because it seems to that you play games. What is the difference between Xbox and PS5 or 4 or 3? I don't know what's the numbers. I don't really play games. I played 2 games on computer, like CSGO, and I was like, no, that's not for my computer. And then I played on a mobile, but I'm not that good. So I'm really like curious about this. I never knew the difference, and many people were fighting, and I don't know what they're fighting for, because I think it's just playing Go.
Okay.
Oh, dude, she sounds so nice. She sounds so friendly.
Very nice. So very innocent, and has not
been
has not been thrown into the terrors of the gaming world just yet. But I would chalk it up. The difference between, well, I guess the reason for people fighting, the difference is because people are protective over their like team. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like if you are, I'll just use another reference that I feel like if you like Coca-Cola, then you don't like Pepsi. If you like Pepsi, you don't like Coca-Cola. I'd say that's probably like an easy way of describing, like, it's kind of, if you've been team Xbox, you stay team Xbox. If you're team PlayStation, you stay team PlayStation. But there's some people that do both that don't really mind. But as far as the actual differences between, well, PC is the best. PC is the elite of the gamers. And you can play so many things on PC. It's so fun. This is a shameless plug for PC, as I just recently built one and I've loved every second of it. Will is actually still living in the past by buying a PlayStation. But I don't know. We talked about it earlier, and Will, you can expand on it, bro. Like, I think there's a lot of more like storyline driven games on console, specifically on PlayStation, for people's enjoyment. Where I do think if you get a PC, and my experience on Xbox was it's more for online gaming and like competitive type things. Whereas, you can find those on every platform, Xbox, PlayStation, mobile, PC. But I think some are just kind of, or at least those communities are more geared towards one aspect or the other.
Yeah. And in terms of like the main meat of the question there, like what's the difference between Xbox and PlayStation? Like Nick, you pretty much hit it on the head. Like the fans is one of the main differences, but really the main difference I think is the games being offered. Like I do feel like overall they're probably going to perform pretty similarly. They look a little bit different. The Xbox is like black and a little bit beefier, and like the PlayStation is white and a little bit more lean and tall, but you can lay it horizontal. Overall, they're priced pretty much the same from what I've seen. They both have Blu-ray players in them, 4K Blu-ray players from my understanding. And they also have, they play in 4K. They're supposed to be playing in 8K at some point. But the problem is like no TVs are really in 8K that much in games. I don't think they even make them in 8K yet, but it's for the future, I guess. So I would say overall the difference is, the difference is mainly just the gameplay's been pretty similar. The controller's a little bit different and how it sits in your hand. Like overall, I think it's more so just the games and which company, which one you like more in terms of the games. Like if you're just a gamer who likes, like Nick said, like online games, first person shooters, like there's still a lot of story driven games, but you get the more general stuff that's on both consoles, like Madden, for example, or Call of Duty, or like stuff like that. That's on both consoles. But if you want like story driven, like Ghost of Tsushima or Final Fantasy or God of War or Last of Us or something like that, Control, even I played that, Infamous, like those are the games that you have to get a PlayStation for. So for me, I'll pretty much always go PlayStation until they don't have those exclusives, but that's mainly the difference.
Dude, another thing that PlayStation has going for them, we're in the age of cross-platform where you can play, like if Will's on his PlayStation, I'm on my PC. There's a chance that not a chance, but there's a lot of titles that we could play together, even though we're not even on the same systems. But Genshin Impact, which is like one of my main plays right now, is only offered PC, mobile, and PlayStation, not on Xbox. I thought that was so odd that they would go cross-platform, but as far as consoles go, they are exclusive to PlayStation. So you've got that going on for you with PlayStation World too. But yeah, to Will's point, like find the titles that you like playing, and then just if you're interested in becoming a gamer, I would pick a console or a PC based off of the games that you like. But if you've already played some games on PC, like you mentioned, you have CS:GO and you tried it, just wasn't your cup of tea. There's so many good free games that are out that if you've already got a console, you've already got a PC. Like I would just explore some free titles to find a game that you like playing. And then that way it's low risk, high reward when you don't have to, all you need is memory space. You don't necessarily need to invest any dollars.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense to me. So and I think that's really what it boils down to be honest. And she's posting a bunch of comments. I don't know if we'll get to them all on this show, but but I will say, that's mainly the difference, I'd say. So, and just to end things here, I think, my opinion really on this whole thing is, in terms of compromise, the kind of we've touched on briefly, like, I mean, sometimes like I'm not thrilled about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not thrilled about that I had to pay extra like that. But honestly, like, and I was like, look, I'll die first. I said that before. So I guess I'm dead inside this point.
I think on the last podcast, literally within 7 days.
I might have said that literally the last week. So I mean, like, I was like, I'll die first, right? So I think it's just one of those things, like I always said that, and then I guess I have to go back on my word and be a hypocrite because like I just bought all these accessories. I was ready for a PS5, and then I keep getting disappointed. Like I've tried getting a drop over and over and over again, and it just never has worked for me. So it's like, dude, insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting different results. So
thank you. My favorite definition.
Right. I think Einstein said that, didn't he?
I don't know who said it, but I love it, dude. I use it all the time.
Right. So that's kind of what's going on. So I think at this
something
point,
important to pull from that too is it's okay to change your opinion and change your mind. Like, I think just generally speaking right now, I see so many people on different aspects of lives, but it's like, if you felt one way about something in the past, you can change your mind. You don't have to stick around on that stance. Like Will said, probably literally within 7 days that he would die before he paid extra for a PlayStation. But more information has come about. He realized it's harder to get than he may have originally thought. and you already invested, time into getting the peripherals for it. So you might as well enjoy it. You might as well spend a little bit extra and enjoy it.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And
nobody's going to hate you for it.
Yep. And I'm looking at the tracking right now. It was shipped today. It's on the way. Estimated delivery Thursday. So
hell yeah.
Gotta give the dude credit. Yeah. I mean, he said that, yeah, it'll be here Thursday. He said it was bought from Target. So we're going to see when it gets here. If it shows up and it's a PS4 and a PS5 box, then I'm going to be like, you know what I mean? I'll send that's coming right back to you, because eBay is going to protect me on that one. But it's not going to happen because, those guys post pictures too. They post several pictures and they're like, oh, okay, here it is. So yeah. And which I think probably what she's referring to, there are scams on Facebook. So if you're listening to this and you're trying to get a PS5, no one is selling you a PS5 for $500. Okay. Nope. Like people do it on the Facebook groups, or sorry, not the Facebook groups, but Facebook Marketplace. So they'll list them for $500. Like, for one, you're paying, sometimes if you're paying over Facebook, you don't have any, you're not paying with PayPal, you have no money protection. You know what I mean? No purchase protection. So you're sending these people $500 or Facebook or Venmo or whatever, they're gone at that point. They're going to block you and move on. Yep. So that's probably what she's asking. Like, if you're buying off eBay, you're fine. If you're buying from like a legit seller, especially if you're paying $800, like that sounds more like a reasonable person who's like scalping this a little bit and trying to sell it. Like, not for $500. Yep. Like, yeah. You're not getting one for $500. It's too good
to be true. It is.
Yeah. So and sometimes you got to compromise. So, relationships, PS5s, Xbox, PC. So whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do whatever is going to maximize your happy scale. Find the good point in the happy scale. If you're willing to spend a couple extra bucks, but that's going to correspond to some happiness, well worth the money.
Right. I think that makes sense, don't you?
Oh yeah, that's why I said.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is probably a dumb question, but I was just trying to think I was just making sure you thought through it. But
yeah, dude. As long as it brings you some enjoyment. The worst is having, like we talked about earlier in the show, if you have buyer's remorse, if it was like more of an impulse purchase, that's tough. But if you buy something and it's going to bring you enjoyment, it's going to increase your quality of life, then hell yeah, because the one thing we don't get back is time. You could spend the money and you could make the money back. You could lose the money and you can make the money back. But if you lose or you spend the time in a way that you don't like it, that time's gone, baby. That time is gone.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. And now you sound like a pyramid scheme guy.
Meet me on Facebook Marketplace. I have PlayStations for $500 for all.
Everybody gonna get a PlayStation.
Yep.
You get a PlayStation and you get a PlayStation. Yep. Yeah, exactly, dude. All right, man. So I think that's it for this show. I think hopefully we passed along some knowledge here. Thank you, YOLO Boo Boo, for posting those comments. We'll just have to answer the rest of them at another date. But yeah, so I appreciate it, dude. And PS5 is on its way, so I am super excited. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the gaming's like on it. Hopefully it's worth the wait, because if I get it and it sucks, then I'm gonna be like, guess what? It's going on eBay for $800, because I'll just sell it, because I could sell it pre-owned for that much, probably even. So
true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Poggers in chat for Will.
What does that mean?
It just means like it's something that people say when you do something good and they're excited for you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Pog for Will. Play of the game, baby. Play of the game.
See, I'm too old for that,
the PlayStation. Let's go. He's a boomer, but we still got Poggers in the chat. Let's go.
I turned 30, man. I'm a boomer.
Dude, I'm already 30, but I'm delaying my boomer.
Okay, you're delaying your boomerism.
Suppressed.
Okay, yep. So boomer suppressors. You take medication for it.
Yeah, that's why I go on Twitch and I talk to all the kids in Twitch chat, and they keep me less boomer.
That sounds really bad, actually. You're like, I talk to all the kids on Twitch chat.
And then afterwards, I take them all in my van. All right, let's end. Let's end before I say anything more. Yeah, let's sus.
I know. All right, guys.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Episode 6. Peace out.
Bye.